Okay, let us pray. Dear God, we thank you again. We come back to study for the new semester. Help us to understand, to learn, and to serve you better. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, let's see. Chapter 3. Oh, wrong one, sorry.
Hello, John.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the missions that you sent my dad, but it didn't go through. Can you resend it, please?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I sent it to him. I sent it.
Okay, thank you.
You sent it? Under what email?
Yeah, it's Sanhin. I just sent about 2 seconds ago.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, just a second. I lost my file. I need to check.
But supposedly, I thought that my insurance was gonna pay him, and then my insurance was gonna go on back to, you know, to recover.
Let's see. Did you see 1 Timothy chapter 3?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, but sorry. We're supposed to start the mission first. Wow. Okay, sorry about that.
Oh, well, yeah. No, come on.
Oh, I think I messed up. 4 and 5. Okay. Okay, supposed to be mission chapter 4. Did you see it?
Yeah, that's the right one. Yeah.
Okay, good. So in chapter 4, they will talk about the history of mission and the movement that the church have started doing something. You remember on Matthew chapter 28, before Jesus go to heaven, he ordered his disciple go all over the world and preach the good news. And he emphasized again in Luke. You remember, in the book of Acts. The early church have a command that you need to go out and share the good news of salvation. So this is the beginning of the movement. And here in this chapter, they will divide the time that the church and the Christians going out all over the world. In this chapter, they will divide the section into 3 sections. From AD 30 to 1500 AD, they call pre-modern era. And from 1500 to 1900, they call the era of discovery and colonialism. And from 1900 to 2000, they call expansion all over the world. So this is 3 main sections that this chapter will deal about. They will talk about the history, how they go and how the church expanding. And you might be surprised that the apostle still alive in the first section of the expansion. The 12 apostles travel the world. When we talk about the world in those days, it just means a few countries around the Mediterranean, like Italy, Greek, Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, Israel, Egypt. And this is they call all over the world. It's just the country around the Mediterranean. And they preach everywhere. And opposition is everywhere too, because the Roman consider Christianity as outlaw. So a lot of them was jailed, a lot of them were killed in the early time. For the first 300 years, we believe that maybe millions of Christians were killed by the Roman. That 300 years of persecution. But in the 4th century, things changed. In AD 313, Constantine became Christian. And now you heard the story that why Constantine, the Roman emperor, decided to be Christian. Well, at that time, the Romans are separate into small factions, or the general rule a certain part of the empire. So Constantine wanted to combine all of them into one, but never successful. Until one day he dreamed. He dreamed that when he put a flag with the cross, and he won. And he successful in united all the Roman Empire into one under the flag of the cross. So he realized that he had to be Christian first before God will help him. So Constantine decided to be Christian. When he decided to be Christian, the whole empire, most of the people follow the emperor. You don't believe that the next day, almost everyone called themselves Christian. Even the Roman priests, the Roman temple changed their name. The priests come out and change the name of the temple from Caesar, from Zeus, from Hercules, from Diana, from all the Roman goddess and god to be Saint Peter, Saint John, Saint Mary. They change themselves to be Christian temple or church. And they still keep their old ceremony. They still keep their old statue in the temple. All their statue just change name. They put new name under all the statue. All the Diana, they put Mary. All the male one, they put either Moses or Peter or John. Now this is how Roman became Christian. They just change the wrapping. They just change the brand, but the content still the same. Now you can guess that when the content still the same, they keep the Roman religion under the new name of Christian, but they don't call themselves Christian. In fact, they call themselves Roman Catholic. Now you get why the Roman Catholic Church is so different from all Christians, because they are the Roman religion that come under the brand name of Christianity, but they still the Roman religion. They keep all Roman old stuff. They just change the name. They just change the wrapping, but inside still the same thing. This is why you can compare that the Roman Catholic Church so different from all Christian in many ways. But for the next 2,000 years, the Roman Church will adapt to survive many times, try to be more Christian every time. but the core of their faith still not Christianity. Now we can talk more later on. So this is the chapter we divide into small sections. The first from AD 30 is mean that after Jesus went to heaven, to the end of the first century. After this section, you see that the apostles themselves bring the good news to everywhere after Jesus. And all the early believers work so hard. They share the good news with their people everywhere they go. But from AD 100 to 325, inside the church, we have some wrong teaching. You might remember what Paul warned the church that don't let the wrong teacher there. Even among the Jews, some of the Jews who call themselves Christian now, but they don't teach the real gospel. They still teach all the story of the old Jew, not the gospel. So inside the church itself, we have problem, false teacher from the early church and keep going on. And the early church will record a lot of wrong teaching. And where they come from, beside the old Jewish story, it also some Greek philosopher who became believer and joined the church. They still teach all the knowledge of the Greek philosophy. That is not Christianity. Like one group, they call themselves Gnostic, this one. This group teach about spiritual knowledge. They say that they have spiritual knowledge from God. They know everything. And they don't need anyone to teach them. So this is not Christianity again, because the words of God is enough. But they don't care much about the words of God. They care much about spiritual knowledge that they say that come to them from the Spirit. So this is the wrong teaching. And later on, there will be more Greek philosophers come to join the church and teach a lot of new things from the Greek philosophy. As you say that in AD 325 to 500, after the Roman became Christian, the church expands so fast now, because wherever the Roman army go, Christianity go with them. And they always declare that now everyone needs to be Christian. But the kind of Christianity that the Roman preached is not the real Christianity according to the Bible. It's the Roman Catholic Church, not the real Bible. But anyway, the church spread. The church is growing so fast. And later on, all the Roman priests want to be pope. What that mean? It means that they don't allow local pastor to rule over the church. They say that we need a head, someone to govern the whole church. So some of the old priests make themselves, at first they call themselves archbishop, and later on call themselves pope, mean that they are head of all priests, head of all preachers. And who are they? Well, they used to be the rich people who want power. And this is through the church, they know that they have power to control everyone. So they buy this position. They use money. They use power to gain it. So they kill the enemy. So they put all their friends into the church to be bishop, archbishop, so all their friends will select them. This is how they start. And the church come to the lowest point we call the Middle Age or the Dark Age. It's around 800 AD to 1500 AD. Why we call it the Dark Age? Because the church is so corrupted. the church is so bad. Even the missionary who going out to make Christianity everywhere, not by faith, but by force. The church expanding, but not because they believe, but because of fear. And the church inside the church itself in Rome is so corrupted. All the leaders are rotten, are bad people. They just join the church to be leader because of power and money. And they use money to buy their position. They use money to buy position for their children, their family. And they kill all the enemy. So you see, the church is not the place that preach the good news anymore. It become a place of corruption. But outside, the church is expanding because the Roman want the brand name, the Roman Catholic Church all over the world. And here, this is the time of crusade. Because the church is so bad, God allowed, you know that if you read the Bible, from AD 2, 3, up to 10, all the Asian, all the Arab are Christian through the preaching of Paul, Peter, or the apostle. But by the time of the Middle Age, all the Roman Christians go into Asia and Africa, into the Middle East, and kill a lot of people for the sake of, they say they want the church to expand there. And they kill a lot of people. And this is why the Arab Christians start thinking that this is not our religion. And later on, they start the new religion called Islam. So you see that how the Islam religion come into the picture. If you go to read the Quran or the Bible, 1/3 they copy from Old Testament, 1/3 they copy from New Testament, and another 1/3 is the old Arab culture, tradition. So this is the Quran. 1/3 from Old Testament, 1/3 from New Testament, another 1/3 from all the Arab culture tradition, and this is Islam. So they want their own religion away from the Western, from the white Christianity that don't give them freedom or anything. And now, from 1500 to 1900, this is the time of we call Reformation. Martin Luther, John Calvin will reform the church. Martin Luther is the German priest, and John Calvin is the French priest. They start teaching that the church in Rome are corrupted, or the leader teach wrong teaching. So they dare enough to stand against all the leadership in Rome and bring the people in France, in Switzerland, in Germany, in Netherlands to separate themselves out from the church in Rome and start what we call the Roman church called them Protestant, the one who protest them. And this is how we get the name Protestant Christianity, because the Roman church called us the protester against them. So now the church divided into big part. And Martin Luther later on will become the leader of one side called the Lutheran branch. And John Calvin will become the leader of all the Reformed Presbyterian church that in France, in England, and many other places. Now, the expansion from 1500 to 1900 is so fast. Now, both Protestant and the Roman Catholic Church will go all over the world and preach the good news, and all wherever they go, they conquer the land and they make them Christian. They build churches, they teach the people about Bible, right or wrong, they still try to do what they think this is what they're supposed to do, to bring people to Christianity. And here you talk about 1900 to 2000. It's about our time now. The church expand everywhere, and Christianity always go with capitalism, mean that most of the Western world are Christian, while the East still under either Islam, Hinduism, or Buddhism. And the difference is not just religion, it's also culture, tradition, a lot of things. And in this same time, we see the communism start, the Cold War start, and many things happen in Asia. World War I, World War II start. So a lot of things happen in this modern time, from 1900 to 2000. A lot of things happen. World War II time, that killed a lot of people. And a lot of Jews were killed in the same time. Okay, I will stop a little bit here because we will come back to talk more about how the mission expand in 2000 years from the beginning to our time. It divides into 3 different sections: the old time, the middle time, and the modern time. And you can see the differences of each section, but the expansion of the church never stopped. Christianity started with just a few believers in Palestine, become the world #1 religion today. Today, at least about 3 to 4 billion people claim themselves to be Christian. About more than half of the world claim themselves to be Christian. If you think this is a success, it's a success. The number is big. About half of the world at least became Christian today. But Christianity started with just 12 apostles 2,000 years ago. It never died, it's growing. Even today, in Africa, in Asia, Christianity is still growing. And a few days ago, I read an article about in the next 20 years, China going to be #1 Christian country in the world. We can entertain on that topic. China will have the most Christian in the world in the next 20 years. Do you believe that? The country that used to be Buddhist, Confucius, and less than 1% Christian, now going to have the most Christian in the world, in China, in the next 20 years. Do you believe that? Well, we can talk about that. Now, this is in short. You can get a lot more detail when you read the article. It's a little bit complicated, but if you follow the step, you will see how the church expand so fast in that 2,000 years. It covered the whole world, everywhere. And the missionary is very faithful. They will go everywhere and tell the good news. And even today, we still do that. Everywhere, we share the good news. Now, the article in the chapter will divide the expansion of the church in 3 sections: the old time, the middle age time, and the modern time. And each section is filled with all detail how the church expanding. You might not agree with how they expand the church, but that's how they do it. The first section about the old time, the church expand by sacrifice of believer. The second time in the Middle Age, the church expand by the power of the army, navy, by force people to become believer. But the modern time, we expand the church by new technology or new techniques or progress, advance that people want to imitate us. So you see that the tool that they use about preaching the good news or to expand the church are different. And now, if you think that from the 21st century on, if we're going to expand the church or to preach the good news, what tool or technique will we use? If you have choice of three that have been used in the past, by the first one, sacrifice yourself. The second one, by force. The third one, by new offering of technology, of reward, you might call that. To be Christian means that you are modern, you are advanced, you are up to date. Or now, today, which way, if you want to present yourself as Christian and to make people want to join the church, which one that you think will be the best to use? Techniques wise. Well, you can see that you cannot use force anymore. You cannot use war to make people believe. Or you see that offer people that if you're a Christian, you are modern, you advanced, you up to date. Or you go to the original way that the Christian uses. You expand the church, you share the good news by your love, your sacrifice. That's the original way. If you were the mission director, or you need to send out new people to the world, how you could train them? And what tool you could give them? You know that they say that it might be we have to go back to the original plan. You need to sacrifice to show God love and to bring people to God that way. That's the right way. We have to go to the original plan, God way, by love and sacrifice. Okay, that one topic I want you to think about. The second topic is why they say that in the next 20 years, China will have the most Christian in the world. Why? Number-wise, some people say because China have the most people in the world. No, not anymore. India now is number one. India get the number one of the world now. But Christianity in India is not going to be number one. But China, Christianity China church will be number one in the world in 20 years. Why? The Christianity in China grows so fast, faster than the rest of the world.
The persecution.
Yep.
So
And
when
what's else?
when things go bad like 2019 with the COVID-19 hit in the world, and then a lot of people turn to Christian because they turn to God and ask God for help. I believe that China will have big issue on the country, and they will a lot of them looking for help. That's what I think. I don't know.
Well, some people say China try everything. They try Confucius, they try Buddhism, they try communism, and everything did not give them what they want, happiness. They might have money, they might have success, but they're not happy.
John,
Yes.
I heard that China tried to rewrite the Bible. Is that right?
Well, some people, some group maybe, but not majority. Or the false teacher come from China too, because they feel that they need to update the Bible. Some of them think that way. Wherever the church growing, the false teacher also come up too. But it's amazing that nobody ever believed China going to be number one Christian country in the world in 20 years by number of believers.
John, the question. What is the original religion of Iran? Iran. I thought they were Muslim, but I heard that they were destroying the mosque.
No, you see, Iran before, in the past, before they became Christian, they also worship something similar to the Egyptian, all kind of star, all kind of thing that even before Christianity, Iran become a country. They worship similar something like the Egyptian. But in Paul time, Paul even preached the good news in Iran too. So you see that people looking for some powerful thing to believe. If they don't find God, they still have to make one until they find the real God. So that might be the point that in China, they try everything for thousands of years. Now they try Christianity. You know how many Christians in China now?
No idea.
Well, they guess that from 100 million to 150 million.
Wow.
We talk about 100 million.
Mm. Yes, I am surprised that in 20 years that China would be the country. I thought it would be America.
Now America fall off.
Fall off, huh? So the first one would be the England. Is that first? Would it be the previous one was that England?
Well, if you talk about 200 years ago, might be.
Mm. I could kind of relate. I could kind of see why, because the Mian culture, when we used to worship our ancestor, we were from China, so we kind of probably adapted from there as well. And then they just carry on. Just when we were when we were not converted, we're doing that. My kids would ask me, why? Why do we do the things that we do? But I actually have no answer. I just said because, from generation after generation, we just do it because it's for the ancestor. But I don't have evidence. I don't have any proof to tell my kids that why we are doing what we are doing. But now, as a Christian, we have the Bible. So there's proof there and evidence that we can tell them where and why we believe Christians. So I think it would make sense for all the China to convert to Christianity. Thank you.
Yeah, that really is something that
Mhm.
we never dream of.
So, Ajahn, they don't have no freedom for the uh for the religion right now, right? For the Christian.
Well, they have some very limited. You see, they call the government church, that the church that the government allow, but the underground church 100 times more than the government church. Underground church means the church that the government don't recognize. That everywhere.
So from now to 20 years, probably they have that freedom and
We
everybody.
we will see a lot of things will happen in 20 years. But 20 years come very fast.
Ajahn, do you think we all still here or some of them may gone?
Well, who can predict that?
But 20
Uh,
years, so I think some of them still here, but a lot of them will be gone. We
you
want to
know,
wait and see, right, Ajahn?
yeah, we don't know, but it doesn't matter. It will come true. Even you're not here, you can see from heaven. You not go anywhere. And if you're not here in this world, you might go to China to witness it yourself in spirit.
Yes.
Well, we who believe in God, we got to live forever anyway. But it is something we should be happy of. I still remember about 200 years ago when the first missionary went to China, and very few listened to them. My great grandfather was the first believer in his family, in his village, that almost 200 years ago. And my wife great grandmother is the first believer in her village too. That's almost 200 years ago, the first believer in China. So that really is something. So we thank God that we still believer and we still serving God many generations now. And one day to see that China became the most Christian country in the world is a dream come true. Well, all the men come from China too, the Lao, the Thai too.
We are the China seed.
Yeah, there's still many millions of men in China. I don't know, you ever go to China to visit the Mian church over there?
We plan to, Ajahn.
Yeah, you should go to see.
We plan to go next year, 2027.
Yeah, and if you have a chance to worship with some of them, it's going to be a life's experience. Okay, let's go to finish this chapter. Let me finish. Chapter 4. Well, this is more article by this guy he wrote about how God used the believer to expand the church. And it just repeat what we have talked, but in more detail, that how God used believer, how they sacrifice for the kingdom of God. So the book will cover about how the church grow by the believer in the early church go all over the world and sacrifice themselves to preach the good news. And the second article will be the Middle Age, how the church expand. We only talk about in the Middle Age, mainly the church expand with the army, with the navy. Wherever the army, the navy go, the priest will go with them. When the soldier conquer the land, the priest will make people baptize or die. So this is not a good way, but anyway, the church expand this way in the Middle Age. Go with the navy, go with the army. When they conquer the land, they give people two choices, baptize or die. So this is how the church expand. But in the last part, you will see that the gospel will go to the east. The east here means more Asia now. In the past, it mostly concentrated in Europe. But now, in the last part of the century, the good news will come to Asia. So you see, the gospel have been expanded for 2,000 years, but Asia just have the last 200 years to hear the good news. Why it takes so long? Well, some people say that because of technology, because of too far to travel, or because of all kind of reason. That's why they don't come to Asia until around 200 years ago. So that's the answer. So you agree with that? Why they let Asia to be the last?
Ajahn,
Yeah.
do we think just because Asians we are too close-minded?
Mm,
Because, for example, for Mian people, we worship our ancestors, so we think that's the best. So we just like people come, just like, no, I don't want it. I don't want it.
mm. Yeah, maybe Asian culture very, very strong. We don't accept new thing. So maybe the military try and find out that it's difficult. So they better go somewhere easier. I don't know, that might be one reason. So they leave Asia to be the last. We just have the chance about 200 years ago to hear the good news. Well, at least we still have a chance. It's just our ancestors before us don't have a chance. Okay, let me go and look at chapter 5. Now we talk about future. What is the trend? What's it the chip? What will happen in the future? Well, one thing I already say that surprise and surprise mean that Europe will have less and less Christian. America itself will not growing, but Africa and Asia will growing so fast. More believers will be in Africa and Asia. And I already say that China is going to be #1 in the world of Christianity in the next 20 years. So a lot of change will come. By the believer and the church in Europe and in America declining, dying, because the young people in America and Europe stop coming to church. And we're going to find out why young people in America and in Europe stop coming to church. But young people in Asia and Africa still coming to church. Why? And we're going to find out because of technology, because of tradition, because of what? Why? Why the modern day European and America churches dying? And Africa and Asia churches growing. What they do differently? All the old way that we have been done doesn't work anymore. We need to do the mission in the new way, new technique that will work for the future. And here the article we talk a lot about new technology that we need to use to reach out to young people, modern day people. They are the generation of technology. A lot of things that we used in the past doesn't work anymore. So what technology we can use to reach out to young people, modern day people? And here they talk about some missionary who go out and preach the good news, but this is in the 18th, 19th century. But we talk about the 21st century. Now we live in the 21st century. They might call the greatest century. A lot of challenge for the church and for us. How we going to do mission now? It's not the same old way anymore. You either successful or you fail. We call the global century, mean that the whole world connected by internet. It's like today, you can talk with people all over the world in the same time with all the technology. So now how the church going to use the technology to reach out to the world, especially to young people, modern day people. A lot of young people today don't have connection with real people anymore. They live in the virtual world, mean that they live with technology. No friend, no community anymore. And how the church going to reach out to all these people? Unbelievable. You will see a lot of young people live by themselves through the technology. They connect through the AI or the virtual world. It's not real anymore. They don't go out to join the real group of people. And how the church going to function with them? How the church going to reach out to them? So this is all the question that we need to answer. This is the new generation, very challenging. We can be successful or fail. It starts with we need to understand them. We need to know what they need and how to reach out to them. Well, I think the easiest way is start with your own children. Your own children and grandchildren, how you reach out to them, how they respond to the message from your church. Is your church successful with them? Do we try our best to reach out to our children and grandchildren generation? Or we ignore them or say that they don't want to come, just let them go. So what should we do? This is the mission for the future now. How we do with it. A lot of questions.
อาจารย์
Yes.
I saw our old friend. He was he went to American Bible school. He came out. He started his church, but I thought, oh, okay, he's new pastor, new guy. I think he's doing good. And last time I saw his church member, and we were talking about something. He said, no, we only have old people. We don't have young people. I was surprised. I said, whoa, young new pastor, educated from here, and he doesn't have go to reach out to young people. I was so surprised.
So who he worked with?
I think he went to Pensacola Bible School.
Okay, and who are his member?
Mien.
Oh,
Yeah, I was so surprised.
Mien, old Mien or young Mien?
Oh, man.
Usually, when you have a family, you have old and young. But I thought that no, he's new, he's young, so he have more, the thinking of building a continual church. But it seems like no, he doesn't have young people.
Well, you have to start somewhere.
I think beginning whatever he have.
Yeah, but you think that he have a plan for the future, or he just try to keep loving the old coin?
I think he just happy what he has. He didn't think about the future. No, I was so surprised. I thought, whoa, okay.
One thing I think is building church is not easy. It's really hard work. We cannot do by our own.
You're right.
And Ajahn, you're asking about that reach out our own family, children, grandchildren. And in this right now, I don't think anybody try yet, but since we study to talking about the young and children, and grandchildren, that's make me thinking. And it's hard, but I think we need to be try to get them together.
You're right. We cannot ignore them.
Mhm.
We just need to find a way to reach out to them.
Yeah, I think just keep praying. Like John said, that we have to start our own family. Keep talking, praying, and then, they will draw closer to God. And we don't want to skip. I forgot what Bible, but we're the generation. We shouldn't skip a generation, right? So I'm thankful that my son is starting to read the Bible now. So when he update me where he's at, and then we can talk about it. So that makes me really happy. I don't, it's something to start, and it makes me really happy to be able to talk about God, talk about the Bible with my son, and my grandson is 4 years old, so I'm trying to teach him how to pray, when we eat, thank God, just baby step. But at least, I'm doing my part as a grandmother and as a mom. So I'm doing my part and just keep praying. That's the only thing I can do.
Yeah, to reach out to young people, you need to know their need. They need to have friends. You need to help them build a group, a core group.
Yes.
If you have some young leader, help them to start a group. Or the young people need friends. If
Yes.
they can connect and have their own activity, that's the core group. You can start with a few people, but you need to support that core group.
Yes. The thing with all the I noticed that I might be wrong, but I noticed that with all the most of the Mian congregation is that they don't establish discipleship. They don't establish the discipleship group yet. So if you lack that, then how is the message gonna be reach out to the younger generation? And has a elder pastor, they need to be open-minded and change with the world, adapt to the world, and be open to new suggestion, new ideas, change the way that you can reach out to regardless what age, elders, young teenager, young adult, all different ages group need to be connected, need to be able to reach out to them.
Look around you. You see any Mian church that really work with young people?
I think the only one that I see is the one in Sacramento, which is the one I used to go. That one, they have a young adult, but a lot of them left the church, and a lot of them don't go to church anymore. So, it's hard because they're the next generation. But just keep praying.
In American culture, when kids go to college, it means that they leave the church. They might join some churches at college, or after college, they might select another church. They might never come back to their parent church or grandparent church.
Yes,
That's American culture.
that is true too, because we have the Min family that they have pastor sons, but they don't have to go to the same church as their parent, but as long as they're serving God and going to church, I think that's, that beats their need, and it's okay.
But the Chinese culture is very strong. The children will come back to their parent church or grandparent church.
That's good.
Well, I think the men have a very strong culture too. So for the men, I think there is possibility that you can keep your children and grandchildren if you offer them something.
I think we can, our church can come back, but there need to be a congregation that English speaking, not Mian speaking. Even though we're here just only about 40, 50 years, but I feel like we have a language and culture gap between us and our kids. And sometimes I talk to my kids, I feel like I have my English is just a Mian English, not like English. They said, what are you saying? So it's really hard. And have a Mian church and the pastor speaking in English, it's really hard for the pastor.
Unless the English is real.
Well, you might need two pastors, one for the adult, one for the youth. But amongst all my students, I think the Mien have the strongest culture compared to the Thai, the Lao, Cambodian, Burmese. I think the Mien have a very strong culture similar to Chinese. So you can keep your children if you offer them something and have to use English language for them. You just have to try. So if you want to keep the new generation with you, you know that a lot of Asian children who growing up in America, second or third generation, they don't want to join real American church if they have choice. But a lot of time because they have no choice. They want to be in Asian church if they have choice. You just need to give them the choice. I see church try their best to offer the young people with their own worship service. And they use English in their worship service. So that's a good start.
I joined the American side for my church, but then, like coming from a Mian background, I feel like it's just something missing,
You're right.
Even you understand English, you understand their preaching, but it's just something missing. Like,
So that means Hannah need to start your own church now.
I know.
Well, you can expand. It's not just Mian, it's just more Asian. And you can get any Asian to join you to build a congregation.
So can a church be with just one congregation, like just like Mian, Thai, Laos, and no mix?
What do you mean, no mix?
Like no race, just one race.
Oh,
One race,
well,
but you do your language and then like you have the English,
well, that's the perfect church we're supposed to be. But because of we all grew up in different surrounding our whole lives, but we still can work it out. So that's the hope.
Yeah, like what happened if they want to come? Oh yeah, we have our language, but then you could come and learn our language, but then we also have American service. It's like you go to American church, you learn their language too, and then you attend their American service. But then like you have it the opposite.
Yeah, I think the future of our young generation, we need to be more open, not just concentrate on one culture now, but more open. So we have to think how we could pass on the church to the new generation. You know that I teach this school the first 15 years with Thai only. And after that, I have to use English more and more. So for the past 25 years, I teach in English. And majority of students still Asian. Sometimes we have white, we have black, we have Spanish. That just sometimes. But mainly we still Asian school, but use only English now. So why we have to use English?
Because everyone's speaking more English.
Yes, right. So we adjust for the need.
Yes.
So I believe the church that you can start in the future with new generation need to adjust that way. The language that they understand and feel comfortable with.
That I think that's true because sometimes when we have younger adult come into the Mian congregation when they only speak in Mian, but then we have the PowerPoint also in English as well, just in case they come in and they can read that. But the pastor will be only speaking in Mian. And then if you don't understand what they're saying, I think they're not comfortable because they don't understand. They're just sitting there, so they don't understand what you're saying, and they're not getting anything out of it. Or like if they prefer English, then we can tell them the English side. But the Mian, what I'm trying to say is the Mian people don't have a separate English, like Ajahn said, that we should adapt that class. That even though they're Mian, but English speaking class for them, but we don't have that.
Any of your church use bilingual, mean that Mian and English in the same time?
They only use the PowerPoint at my church.
Oh, but not preaching?
No.
Oh, preaching is just in Mian, huh?
Yes.
Oh,
My bad. We
Yeah.
all
When I preach, I use the full in Mian, but side by side, in one side in Mian, other side in English.
what
So
does it mean?
therefore, for the young people, they can, if they don't understand in Mian that much, they can get that from the other side from English.
What do you mean? You speak both?
The PowerPoint,
Oh,
the PowerPoint
PowerPoint.
on the board, on the board.
I
they
talk
can side by
about
side.
I talk about when you preach.
Yeah, it's full in Mian.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
and have the topic, they have the scripture, whatever in the other side too, all the same thing, the same.
okay, you have seen in Thai church that we use bilingual. I preach in Thai, and another guy stand beside me, translate right away. That we call the hybrid.
Yes. I see that all the time at your church, Ajahn.
Yeah,
Yeah. Jasmine, right? Jasmine.
yeah. We have a few people. We call the hybrid where I preach in one language, another person translate right away into English.
Yes.
how come Ajahn don't speak two language?
I tried before, but I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I see people that the pastor that try to speak both. I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of different to hear it as well. So,
You know, I don't want to repeat myself.
yeah, I see some pastor does that. But if you like said hybrid, then that would be like a little bit different. But if a same pastor speaking English and is speaking in Mian, then the audience might hear it differently too. But using the hybrid, I think that's really good.
We speak both language, so we don't have that much people don't speak English in Mian right there, but we have few people few American people come and join us, and then we have to speak two language. Every time we preach, we have to preach two language.
You mean one person speak both?
Yep.
Oh. Well, I try, but I don't think I like it.
We don't have anyone translate. That's the thing.
Yeah, I want to share a little bit about our church.
Yeah.
Like a Pastor Kong Sai, he uh, uh, preached in Lao in adult in there, but we have teenager coming in. They don't speak Lao, then he do both, translate into both back and forth, back and forth. It's not that long. It's like a 15, 20 minutes, so he can do it. He don't complain. He enjoy doing it. He don't mind doing it. He said, well, it's good. He can do that. Yeah. That's how we do every week. When he see the teenager coming in, he try to do that. But only big people or people in there, then he just talk loud. Yeah. That's a good thing he can do. Yeah.
Adapt to the audience, huh? Adapt to the cater to the members.
Yes.
Yeah.
At least they can hear some words.
Yeah.
You see, when I go to preach at church, I preach in English, and someone translate into Mian too. So that's the way. So you can adjust, you can find a way that you can reach out to young people. But the most important thing is you listen to them and try something that they want. You don't know, one thing might work.
Yeah, one thing because all church they don't have no young people go all 30 and out. That's 100% Mian.
Yeah, I think need to adjust, to adapt. My ancestor church in Thailand, the oldest Chinese church in Asia, in Southeast Asia, it's 180 years. They use only Chinese for 150 years. But the last 30 years, they use both Chinese and Thai. You see, after 150 years, they start using Thai in Thailand. How they keep that long? Well, one thing is they open Chinese school in that church and give scholarship to everyone who want to learn to keep the Chinese language go on. They open Chinese school. And when I talk about Chinese school, it's not just language school, it's Liao school, elementary and high school in Chinese. That's how they keep the language so long. But in the end, now they use Thai. Well, they still keep some Chinese for the old people, but mainly they have to use Thai now because they almost live in Thailand for almost 200 years.
Beginning, they don't speak Thai. Right now, they all speak Thai.
Almost 200 years, how many generations?
That's a long time. Many generations.
Yeah, a long time. But the point in the end, they live in Thailand.
So that time when Jesus here on the earth, that's a long time.
And Jesus did not speak Hebrew too. He speak Aramaic.
Maybe he speak Thai too.
Okay, you have any more question or concern about this class? If not, I give you a break, allow 20 minutes. We're going to come back for 1 Timothy.
So 7:45 or 7:30 coming back?
Let's see, what time is it now?
7:12.
You should get allowed 20 minutes. Okay, 35 allowed 7:35. Okay, allow 7:35, you come back, okay? You sign in. I will shut down the website for a few minutes and you can come back, okay?